Welcome back everybody to BeamNG.drive, and today we're taking a look at a relatively new mod, the Ibishu Saga, more specifically the 2.6 litre XS6 model, built between 1986 and 1989, has really cool pop-up headlights as you can see, but yeah, the information on the horsepower, torque and acceleration ratings aren't all that great because they're all the same as each other in terms of different models, so I can't really state which is the fastest or if this is a quick one or not, but it does have a 2.6 litre flat 6 engine, which is a unusual engine for BeamNG. We don't have many cars with a flat engine, and yeah, weighs 2,866 pounds. Not sure if this is based on any other kind of car on the game already, or if it's an entirely new one, but it should be interesting to see what it can do, as yeah, not many 80s coupes out there. So let's take it around the suspension area first, see how much it can take before it breaks, and then we'll roll it over a few times, blow it up and put it through a cinder block wall. So yeah, rear wheel drive, going for the automatic version though, just because it's easier for me. Yeah, I don't think it's going to have the best crash protection safety because it's quite lightweight and obviously relatively old, but it's reasonably quick. Like I said, all of the acceleration, top speed and horsepower and torque ratings are all the same between each model. Not sure if that's going to be updated or not. It'd be nice if it was, because then at least there'd be some variety between each version. Still plenty quick enough, but it is bending up quite a fair bit already, as you can see by the windows and the doors. Yeah, that door is already popping open, which is not a good sign. Suspension is holding up though for now. Typical 80s suspension in that it's quite soft and bouncy. See that in plenty of American cars from this period, and I imagine this was made for the American market as well. Ooh, although it is obviously a Japanese car, it's not necessarily a Japanese domestic car. Because cars like this would typically more for the American market. You look at the Toyota MR2 or the Nissan 300ZX. Are typically more aimed at the American market, or at least to compete with European cars of the same type. Porsche 944. Holding up pretty well though for a sports car. Whoa! You can see that we've taken a fair decent amount of bodywork damage. But as long as the underpinnings are fine, then we've got no issues. Not sure if the chassis is being bent or not, but let's find out over here. A fair bit of a fight, but we are scraping the underneath, which is not helpful. Oh dear. Are we stuck? It's very easy to get stuck on these. I think we are. We're gonna have to drag it out by a good node, so we're not damaging anything. Or not anything vital at least. Come on, you can make it. There we go. Got the ground clearance of nothing, but can still get out of it. Right, let's punish it some more. didn't really go all the way all over these, so we'll go again. I think that rear bumper is long for this world. We are overheating even though we're not damaging the radiator, so not good engine cooling management there. We're now eating our front bumper. Let's get rid of that. There we go. So yeah, we haven't lost the radiator, but we are overheating, which is not a good sign. Which obviously means we are losing power. Either we have lost the radiator and it's just not indicating it, or we haven't and we've got a poor engine. Not quite sure. Ow. Those doors though aren't putting a lot of safety in my mind when it comes to crashing it properly. Making a lot of noise going over those things, but not much damage is happening. So whatever we're hitting is clearly not vital. We are struggling to stay in a straight line, so we might have tweaked the steering. Doesn't look entirely straight. Well, this is definitely getting a pass no matter what happens to it, because it's lasting a wee old amount of time. Oh. Definitely boiling the oil. Head gasket is gone, engine torque is reduced, one of our wheels is tweaked, and I think we're dead. No? So just struggling to get over these. We are billowing smoke out of every end of this car. Still moving just about. Yeah, we've definitely bent up the wheels. It's like a drive line has come off, but it's still moving. Maybe this mod isn't as well-rounded as I expected it to be. But the engine has nonetheless died, so yeah, that's getting a pass because that survived quite a lot. Although I am a little bit tentative about the fact that its driveline looks like it's come away, and yet the engine was still able to drive the wheels. So yeah, but whatever. Let's get to the rollover ramp and see how this deals with 3 consecutive rollovers. Obviously, if it isn't able to manage all 3, then it's a fail. But if it's also so heavily damaged that no one would be able to survive it, then also that would be a fail. So let's see. Oh dear, it's not got the best traction, this has. Reload it. And let's get on the ramp. So yeah, this doesn't have the strongest of looking roofs, specifically because it doesn't really have a B pillar. So let's see if that holds true. Wheels might well be susceptible to damage as well. Getting a good amount of rolls though already, which for a low slung sports car is unexpected. Still going. And there we go. So we definitely tweaked some wheels there. And the roof for now is okay. But it's very low now, so that's not good. But let's continue on. Just about. Kind of limping now. Oops, let's get lined up properly. Or at least try to. Oh well, didn't need the bumper anyway. That's not vital for rollover protection. Right, let's see if it can survive a second go. Whoopsie daisy, there we go. Oh, well, that's a surprise. It didn't roll over more than once. Well, that's helpful. It means that the roof hasn't really taken any more extra damage, and the rest of the car is going to be able to hold up. So let's see what happens if we roll it again, and see if it can survive one more time. It's definitely not a very good car to drive anymore. It's pulling all over the place. But we're still able to get on the ramp, which is good. Oh, we've ruptured the fuel tank apparently. Yeah, we have. That's not good. We haven't really rolled all that much, so on the whole I'm going to say that's a pass. Yeah, we've ruptured the fuel tank, but it hasn't lit up while rolling, that is. And we're still able to drive, still able to steer to some extent, and the roof hasn't come down so much that the driver or the passenger would be lacking headroom. So yeah, that's a pass, that is. So let's see what happens when we go into these barrels at 60 miles an hour. So let's set the speed. We should be able to get up to that amount of speed. Yeah, we will. So that's big bada boom. Oh, well, that's not going to be steering anything anymore, and the engine has gone anyway, so it doesn't matter. Will it survive the rest of this? Oh. Oh. Well, that was punishing, that was. It's taken a lot of damage. I mean, in fact, the bonnet has gone through the roof. But that would be obviously a glitch and not a something that would happen for real. So, yeah, on the whole, I'd say that's a pass for passenger safety, but a fail in terms of survivability for the rest of the car. But, yeah, on the whole, we're only here really for safety. And, yeah, this has done really rather well in that regard. So, let's see what happens when we go into a cinder block wall at the same kind of speed. Interesting thing about this car is that the rev counter needle lights up when you get towards the rev limit, which I think is really cool. Nice little design touch there. Let's crash into the wall. Will it survive? Oh, fair bit of roof flexing there. We have damaged the radiator. You have to say, considering it's a sports car and a light one at that, that has dealt with that really rather well. It did flex, but it didn't misshape or intrude into the, you know, the passenger compartment. So yeah, that's a another pass. So 4 out of 4 on this map. So let's get to the crash hall and see how it deals with 30, 40 and 60 mile an hour small overlap crashes. So here we are at the crash hall, and this is the ultimate test for whether a car is particularly safe or not. Yeah, let's see what it does with a 30 mph small overlap crash. Now, very few vehicles have actually failed at this speed, but it's really not out of the realm of possibility for a car of this age and weight. So let's see. Yeah, the thing that's going to probably kill this is the lack of a B pillar, which was obviously a common design trope back then. Yeah, I think that's dealt with that fine. Actually, I'm not sure if we were all that well positioned now looking at it, so let's try again. We're a little bit too far over to the left. Obviously, it's difficult to be completely 100% because different vehicles are, different widths, and being more over one side than the other is usually advantageous, or at least correct in terms of crashing it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Right. Real test now. Yep, still fine. Okay then. Just wanted to make sure. I like to be fair and equal as much as possible. So yeah, that's fine. Still drives. Still okay in terms of safety inside. There is some safety concerns though in terms of the fact that the roof is starting to move around. But the doors haven't really popped open. And yeah, everything else is fine and dandy. So let's see what happens at 40. Again, we have had vehicles fail at 40, but not that many. But still, like at 30, it's not out of the realm of possibility to fail at this speed. Well, it's flexed about a fair bit. It looks like the car has really taken the brunt of that, and not, anyone inside, specifically in terms of intrusion to inside. Because yeah, the door has bent inwards a little bit, so that might well hurt your left-hand side, but the rest of you should be all right. And yeah, headroom is fine. Steering wheel hasn't really moved. So yeah, I'm going to call that a pass. Right, now the ultimate test, 60 miles an hour. Most cars have failed at this, so it wouldn't at all be surprising if this was also a fail, given the amount of damage it incurred at 40 miles an hour. And I've missed. It's harder to gauge it at 60 than it is at a slower speed. Yeah, that's good. Ow. Well, that's a fail. No doubt about that. Look at the amount of intrusion inside. The fact that the door has popped outwards now rather than just slightly inwards. The roof has curled up. The steering wheel has moved forwards and to the right, so if there was an airbag you'd probably miss it. And the wheel has started to come inside as well. And the car itself is dead. Yeah, that's a fail, that is. No doubt about that. But yeah, still 2 out of 3 isn't bad, and at least means that we now have 6 out of 10 overall. So yeah, let's see if it can deal with 60 mile an hour impacts against 2 similarly sized and similarly weighted vehicles, and then one that really isn't. So here we are at the highway. So like I said, we're going to go up against 2 similarly weighted and sized vehicles, and then one that really isn't. So yeah, we're going to go up against a Sunburst to start with. It's 33 pounds heavier than we are, and obviously newer, but it is basically the new version of this car. So because it's a coupe, it's quite sporty. So yeah, let's see what happens. Should be fairly even, I hope. Oh, not quite as even as I expected, to be honest. Yeah, we didn't have a full-on head-on collision, but regardless, that would not have made much difference. The roof has pretty much curled up right across the board. It's not like it's gone up only slightly on one side or entirely on one side. It's pretty much right across, and it's crumpled upwards. The sunburst hasn't dealt with it 100% well, but it's certainly better than we are, which just shows how much better car engineering has gotten in terms of safety over the last few decades. So yeah, there's not much intrusion in terms of the driver though. The steering wheel has moved, but that's the only real negative there. But as you can see, for the passenger, it would have been unlikely that they would have survived. So I'm not going to be able to call that a pass, to be honest. So let's reset and find another vehicle that is maybe slightly lighter than we are. Now that we're going for one that's slightly heavier. Ooh, what to pick? Don't think the Pesimas are all that light, to be honest. Yeah, they're quite heavyweight despite the look of them. What about a classic one? These should be light, surely. Yeah, but not as light as we are. They're still 22 pounds heavier than we are. Oh, that's a shame. What about the ETK from around the same period? Nope, that's far heavier, surprisingly. What about a Legrand? Again, far heavier. Guess that's no surprise really, it's an American car. What about a Covert? Yeah, you see they're significantly lighter. But it is newer as well, so I think we're going to go try and find the heaviest version of this that isn't, you know, got a roll cage. We'll go with the GTZ. It's a good 600-ish pounds lighter than we are, but if we can't be as good as or better than this, then yeah, there's no hope for us really, to be honest. So yeah, let's see what happens. Will we be able to beat a car that's far lighter than we are? Is also newer than we are. Well, there's only one way to find out. Ow. Well, the Covert got away with that fine, really. Yeah, it's had a lot of damage, but the interior is practically untouched. Which isn't quite the same for us by the looks of things. Actually, I'd say that is the case for us, now looking at it. Yeah, I'm going to call that a pass. It's dealt with that far better than it did with the Sunburst, but then again, it is dealing with a car that is far lighter. But even so, the Covert has dealt with that really rather remarkably well. But yeah, it is a pass for us nonetheless, so that is another point on our side. So yeah, let's go up against a vehicle that it really won't be able to survive. I.e. something far heavier. I am thinking about going for the Wendover though. It is not significantly heavier, but it is from the same period. It is also a coupe. So we'll try and find the heaviest version of it possible. 3671. Right, 3693. It's a little bit newer, but it is a car nonetheless from the 80s. You just look at the standard version there, 87. So yeah, so it's not massively heavier, but it's, you know, at the end of the day, something that I'd feel that it probably would crash against at the time, given it's a similar age. So let's find out who's going to be the king of the red cars. red cars with pop-up headlights. Oh, well, it's definitely the Wendover. Because the Wendover still moves, even though it says the engine is dead, or as good as dead. It's still moving just about. I was trying to push the Saga out the way there, but it wouldn't move, so let's just drag it out ourselves. So we can get it in the light and see the damage. If it'll let me. So yeah, that is quite destructive, even against a car that is about 800 pounds heavier than we are, which is obviously not anywhere near the kind of heavyweight vehicle that we've seen before. Yeah, it's crumpled up really badly, so yeah, not going to call that a pass, to be honest, just because if it was against something slightly heavier, it would be crumpling a far worse. So the fact it can barely deal with a car that's only 800 pounds heavier, then yeah, not a pass. But still, that's easily one of the best vehicles that we've had recently. 7 out of 10, 4 for the grid map, 2 for the smaller Rollover without crash test, and 1 here. So yeah, overall impressed by this mod. It's not the most perfect mod out there. There is some jankiness to it, and like I said, all of the models of the Saga have the same power, same acceleration, same top speed, so it would be nice to have some variety in that regard. But regardless, yeah, still a really nice mod overall. And yeah, more mods is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.